In the world of Counter-Strike, the M44 and the M41s have always battled it out. And because every single person was using the M41s, Valve decided to release an update last week. But to give this entire situation a little bit more context, let's go back to March 13th of 2019. So Valve has always tried to balance both the M44 and the M4A1-S, and every time they release a new update, people always switch to either one or the other, and the other one gets neglected until they either buff it or nerf the other. So in this update, they basically changed the magazine size from 20 to 25 to give you a couple extra bullets to work with. But at the time, people still preferred the M44 because it was just better. And then just over a year later, they decided to make it even better by decreasing the price to $2,900 from $3,100, making it $200 cheaper, which allows you to buy a flash or whatever utility you want. But in 2021, they went absolutely ballistic and they actually increased the body damage on the M41s, making it the ultimate M4 weapon in the entire game. So at this point, the clear winner was the M41s. Everybody used it. It was cheaper, it did more damage, it was more accurate, and it had a suppressor on top of all that. I mean, plus it also had better skins. Much better skins. But last week, all that changed with a little update that Valve released. They reduced the M41s magazine to 20 bullets with 80 in reserve. So that was the final nail in the coffin. They literally destroyed the M41s. Nobody wants to use it anymore. The M44 is the way to go. But is that really the case? We need to go deeper. So at first, when they nerfed the A1S, a lot of people were speculating that the M44 was just going to skyrocket in price while the A1S was going to plummet to its demise. But if we look at the M44 price history, I mean, I guess it does kind of tell that story. Right before they nerfed the A1S, the price was around 160, 170 Canadian, and then it actually went up to like 200 and then even 250 at its peak. But after a couple days, people started to realize that the M44 really isn't that great, so it actually started to trail off a little bit. I mean, it's still a little bit higher than it used to be, but overall, I think Valve has struck a really good balance between the two weapons. And on the flip side, we have the M41s Decimator, which is a pretty liquid skin. It's very popular. And actually, right around the time they did the update, it went from about $36 to about $30. And it's actually been pretty stable since. And obviously, we don't really have enough data to know for sure if it's going to continue to trail off or if it's going to go back up in the long term, but I still think the M41s is the better weapon to use, and here's why. So here we have the M44, so it's not the best weapon in the world, but you do get 30 bullets in the magazine and 90 in reserve. When we put them side by side, the A1S is noticeably more accurate. One of the main benefits of the A1S is the fact that there's no tracers when you fire. Obviously, the M44 does excel in situations where there's a lot of enemies really close up, but if you're dealing with enemies from farther away, the A1S is where it's at. And also, I mean, if you're dealing with a smoke, if you want to spam a smoke, the suppressor is crucial. Because when you spam the smoke with a suppressor, it actually prevents the tracers from forming, so it makes it so much more difficult for the enemies to be able to figure out where you are and do a counter spray. But at the end of the day, it all really comes down to personal preference. Whether you like the M44 or the M41s, it's all up to you 100%. Because obviously both of them do have their pros and cons, and because of this new patch, they're both more equal than ever. So pick your poison, pick whatever you like the most, and have fun. Anyways, if you guys liked the video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe with the bell icon rung if you haven't already. Anyways, guys, life is a mystery box. It's Turbox, and I'm out. Peace, boys. Stay safe.